The holidays are an amazing time to find out you actually don't know what people in your life really want. If you want to get them something practical, they probably already have it. That's why our go-to, something they could use every single day and could use multiples of, like Raycon's everyday earbuds. Save big for the holidays and get up to 25% off site-wide at buyraycon.com/wellread. That's right. You'll get up to 25% off everything on Raycon's website when you go to buyraycon.com/wellred. buyraycon.com/wellred.
Skeews.
They're the liberal rednecks. They like cornbread, but sex they care way too much, but don't give a fuck. They're the liberal rednecks that makes some people upset, but they got 3 big old dicks that you can suck.
Buddy,
Here we are.
how y'all be?
I'm doing all right. How y'all be?
Well, and yet another week. I think I said this 2 weeks ago, where it's always exciting when I come into a WellRED episode and know exactly what the fuck we're going to be talking about. Well, the last time it was the election. This is a more, inarguably a way more fun topic and a way more hitting one.
Yeah, they perhaps have caught the spaghetti man responsible for the assassination of that healthcare CEO or health insurance CEO. What, that they caught him, you mean?
Yeah, that don't help.
Yeah. We all on the same page? It does seem like it is him, like, because there's people on the internet that are saying no way. Yeah. Because a lot of them are saying guy that careful, guy that smart, guy that done, it's like no way he gets caught at a McDonald's. Like, he's got the gun on him, he's got the ID on him.
He got caught on purpose.
That's the only thing, because I do agree with him that it does seem weird, but I keep thinking it's like maybe he got caught on purpose because he's got a lot of shit to say, or he could have a lot of.
He could be nuts. I mean, it's like people act like it's the hard part about committing murder is the wherewithal to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
And then to keep your head, which is perhaps what he didn't do. But like they're like a guy who was really good at figuring out how to take a bus. That's not that hard.
Right. Yeah, I think the cops were just being stupid for the most part, and they have to paint that narrative of like, man, this guy, Jesus Christ, like how brilliant.
He wore a mask. What are we supposed to do?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And let's also pour one out for another Italian man taken down by his need for pussy.
Man.
For people who don't know, he got caught mainly because he lowered his masks because the broad asked him to. Mm-hmm. And you got to say it's a broad when she's taking down an Italian man on purpose or on accident.
Absolutely, it's a broad. Yeah, he just couldn't refuse, man. And he was all smiles too. Was that
made him an offer he couldn't refuse?
Take the cannoli. Was that before or after he had did it?
I believe that was before.
Okay,
I think so. Yeah,
that makes me feel a little bit better about him as a person, because like he was cheesing big time, dog. And I feel like even if you feel righteous in your murder, there's after you do it, there's still that whole holy shit, I murdered a person. You know what I mean? And that smile would seem a little bit more creepy. But yeah, ultimately did our guy in.
You could walk me down a conspiracy theory that he didn't do it. That not only did someone else do it, he was going to be the fall guy the whole time. But that's wild. I'll say that would be wild. It would make no sense, and I don't believe it.
I mean, dude, I've been running through all of it in my brain about like what's Reddit's take gonna be, because and the thing is, like, look, most like the conspiracies that people talk about that are so insane are like, obviously if you believe in all those, you're crazy, but like, it's never just, it's usually not as simple, especially when you're dealing with healthcare CEO and this kid with his very unique background. It's usually not as simple as like this guy did, especially when he evades the cop for that long. I mean, who knows? They both might be patsies. I mean, that CEO was only like, he'd only been their CEO for like 1 or 2 years, right? What if they wanted all this shit to happen? They're like, let's put, this fucker in there and we'll just, I don't know. I have no clue.
It is like, so unless he wanted them to catch him, they had no shot at catching him if he hadn't lowered that mask. Unless he wanted him to catch him or he told somebody he done it.
Right. And then because he lowered that mask in that, and they got that photo of him, he then, this is like what, 3 or 4 days later, which is already like long past the, standard 48 hours. If we don't get him in 48 hours, which, that's a little bit different now with social media and your faces everywhere.
Well,
but
it's also different because there was a manhunt nationally for him.
That's true.
Because he killed the CEO.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'm not the first person to make this point, but like 2 homeless people were stabbed brutally to death the same day. No one gave a single fuck. Those people are still on the lam.
I mean, dude, there's housed people that just live in Harlem that it happens to, you know what I mean? Like, I get you with the homeless thing, but like, you could go up so many higher rungs and it still wouldn't be a fucking manhunt.
Because it happened the same day.
Yeah. No, for sure. But I'm just, just to say it, like, you could go up so many rungs and that's still fucking true that like there wouldn't have been this manhunt.
Have you guys seen that Laura Ingraham clip?
Laura Ingraham is the blonde lady, correct? From Fox News.
Fox, well, that doesn't narrow it down at all, but yes.
Right, yeah. Okay, but I am thinking of the right person.
One of the, you guys know the Thundercats. She's one of the Thunder Cunts.
Okay, yeah.
She, unironically, probably such a pro at what she does at this point. Her brain wasn't even connecting the two.
Of course.
She wraps up a segment on this guy. She's got 2 people on each side of her on the screen, like that she's satellited in, probably from 10 feet away. And online, I'm getting some of the comments. They showed them to me during the break. Just disgusting the way people are trying to make this man out to be a hero. It's really, honestly, it's sick and it's a sickness and it worries me about our country. Gentlemen, thank you. Up next, we have the guy who murdered a dude on the subway. Some are saying he's a hero. We'll be right back with that. Was that guy's name Penny? Something Penny?
Oh, no, I didn't even hear about that one.
I know what you're talking about.
Do you remember, Corey, when that vet choked that guy, that clearly crazy guy out on the subway? He got found not guilty yesterday. We live in a simulation.
Yeah.
So he is 26 years old, same age, killed a man in broad daylight in front of people, blah, blah, blah. He killed a homeless man who was making people feel scared and making threats. He subdued him, and then he just kept choking him until he died.
He was a black guy, right? Like the homeless guy? Yeah.
So anyway, people are bringing it up a lot, as they should. But Ingram, again,
just an autopilot.
The only thing I can think of is, sorry, I just got a text. You know, they pop up on the screen.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys afterwards, but one of our friends who's a couple broke up. I just got a text, fuck him, we broke up. I was like, holy shit. I don't know what the fuck I was saying. I just got completely slated.
You were talking about the
guy on the
subway, and it being using Laura Ingraham going into autopilot.
Yeah, that guy was found not guilty, like just yesterday. I was just
saying that it was so funny that the entire world is connecting these two and seeing the glaring difference in how certain things are perceived. And she just genuinely.
Yeah, it was almost like parody.
And it is. I mean, you said it's the entire world. I mean, that is pretty accurate, right? I know that like mainstream media, the talking heads and people like her are still, they're doing what they got to do, I guess, or they're under threat from their corporate overlords or something. Or
but
also
I would argue, Trae, that she didn't do that. Now, again, it might have been just like robot mode. We did this story, now we're doing this story.
Yeah, I mean, I'm Ron Burgundy.
But no part of her even realized, just like linguistically. You're saying it's disgusting. People think this murderer is a hero.
Right.
Up next, a story about a hero who killed a guy.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and of course, they're like the left right now. Well, for the record, like, before I say the left, the right, or whatever, this is 100% so far has been a them fellers that exploded themselves in the submarine situation, in which most people I've seen, Twitter is nothing but far right bullshit now. If it's not people coming out and actually saying like, hey man, you saw what happened in the fucking French Revolution, eventually the guillotine's got to come out. If it's not that, it's at least fucking hilarious memes about it that like wouldn't be coming out if that side thought this was like a disgusting monster or whatever. Like,
yeah,
my sister called me today. She's on the completely like other types of internet than we are. Like, she's on Facebook, dude, where like everybody in our, hometown is fucking red, red as hell. I mean, that like, conservative. And even she's like, all I'm seeing is, she's like, the least, like, she goes, if people, basically what I just said, if it's not people praising him, it's all funny memes. And she's like, I haven't seen one person be like, what a tragedy, this piece of shit. You know what I mean? And like, Kirby, you know, they have there's a conservative family that, you know, she's a part of, her in-laws or whatever, but like they, you know, everybody knows someone who's been fucked over by the goddamn healthcare system. So it's just like right now, sort of bipartisan. But the left,
and he himself
normal,
is, you know, kind of, I guess, hard to nail down, because I felt like at first a lot of people, I felt like a lot of people on the left were hoping for kind of a John Q socialist, right, type, just the guy with a sick kid, nothing left to lose type of working class.
You
hero.
say John Q?
Yeah.
Well,
and, but then he's like apparently a tech bro who's at least right adjacent, but I guess he's kind of an enlightened centrist, or who the hell knows. He said a lot of wild shit. A lot of it's very definitely not lefty stuff at all.
And bro.
He's from a very rich family, apparently, and has a very privileged upbringing.
Didn't see that coming.
Nobody saw any of that coming. And I'm saying part of my argument with that is like that just goes to further the point of how much of a unifying issue or experience or whatever that this whole thing is or should be, you know?
Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are going to be like, this guy with that much money, like, why'd he give a shit? He could just pay for his own health. And so like it kind of makes the guy seem like, if that is the case for him, like more of a quote unquote hero, because it's like, you know, this ain't even about me. Like I could get my shit taken care of, but fuck you, man.
Well, people, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I've been on Reddit, you know, I Reddit bait. They always sleuthing and stuff. And maybe this isn't even sleuthing. Maybe this has been on the news. I don't know. But like he's had posts and stuff from relatively recently in the past year or two or whatever about he had a major back injury. Right. And and also in his reading list on Goodreads, which was wild. For a lot of reasons, includes like, you know, the Unibomber's manifesto and Steve-O's autobiography, and the same, and then but also on his reading list was a couple different books about living with back pain or whatever. And so a lot of people are, you know, making the assumption that even as a rich kid that he's had a hell of a go round with getting healthcare in this country or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're a rich kid, like, and you can just pay for it and stuff, like, you still see the number. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, what
or also if it gets, even if your family can't afford it, if you get told by who's supposed to be your insurance provider or something, if they tell you like, nah, we ain't paying for that, even like if your family could cover it, you're like, well, what the fuck is that? What do you mean? About?
Why do I even have it?
It's still bullshit, even if somebody else could swoop in and save you. But of course, for a lot of people, there is no safety net like that. So it's 10 times worse, but still, you know, they're not immune to it. But
here's one of his tweets. I kind of want y'all to help me parse. And this is from 2024. So it's definitely new lingo, but I'm not hip to it. He says, I need a white chick to go bug mode on my dick. What is bug mode? I mean, I'm sure I'm for it, but what is bug mode? Like that?
That's a Drew question for sure.
Yeah, right.
I got nothing for you guys.
Anybody just really going to town on, you know, genital regions and stuff, like getting filthy where the stank is.
Swine.
I turned to Drew for those things to know what that means. But yeah, I've heard of goblin mode.
I just learned that the other day.
But that's not sexual, is it?
I don't think
that's when you just be trash and be proud of it.
Right.
It was like it was a phrase.
A lot of birds suck. Mosquitoes.
Yeah, we need to get out of this.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about a tick, but that's gross. Well, we skipped over what I wanted to talk about to do your fucking tweet, Corey. I wanted to bring up.
We tried to let you talk earlier. You're like, I got clean slated. I look at my fucking computer.
Don't give me this.
Go ahead. Do your thing.
One theory I saw floated out there, I guess his family owns a nursing home, and it's pretty expensive, but it's got like really, really, really good reviews. And I know everyone's desperate for a hero, so take it with a grain of salt. Yeah. But I did see this one video about this where this lady was like, this company, United Healthcare, and this is true, has been taken to court by the Department of whatever. I don't know if you wouldn't call it the DOJ, whatever the state equivalent of that is, the Attorney General of Pennsylvania, for having a monopoly in the state. They are constantly taking over areas, buying up as many of the nursing homes as they can, driving the cost down, losing money on nursing homes so that they can put the 3 independent ones in that area out of business. When they go out of business, they buy them and then raise the price back up.
Yeah. Walmart
some
be
people
doing that.
are
Mhm.
wondering if that's part of it. I think that the fact that he's right wing is awesome. If he slightly right wing, whatever you want to say, he is interested in the manosphere because you can talk to most. There's some like libertarian type people out there, but you can talk to most like right wing people about like the free market, and they will express great frustration with companies getting so big that they can manipulate it. I mean, to them, it's like almost sacred. It's like talking to someone who's like truly trying to be a Christian and then they really hate televangelists. It's like, we want a fucking free market. And these dudes are like that guy, that CEO, he doesn't do anything. That's another thing about like small town conservatives. They're very much like, don't you take any of my taxes to pay for somebody else's health care. But it's like, because I work for a damn living.
Right.
My hands hurt. My wife's on her feet all day dealing with them shitty kids at the school. Whereas this guy literally just rips people off. I mean, and that is, and I cannot state this enough, I'm not being hyperbolic. His job as the boss of that company, in order to make them more money at this point, what he has to do is figure out more ways to deny people coverage, rip doctors off, and make healthcare worse for people. That's how he makes more money. He deserved to die. He's in hell. And I'm genuinely glad we have a moment where someone from the manosphere, or whatever you want to call it, or right-wingy or center-right, did something like this. I hope we can stay behind him. I hope he's not into fucking kiddie porn. I hope that this dude is just like that guy that I've been trying desperately to get to understand that trans people aren't the enemy that rich people are. I hope this is who he is.
Me too.
I think this is the good moment in America.
But like, here's the thing though. Do you like now that he's caught, like, do you think, even if he was all of what you just said, do you think they're going to let him be? You know what I mean? Because they could just, now that he's caught, they could just be like, we found all this shit on his hard drive. I think Trae died.
I mean, I guess it depends on who they are, you know, and how.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know who's like, that's another thing me and Kirby were talking about was like, if hypothetically, if he was like a complete patsy, like, you know, they MK Ultra'd him or whatever, I don't know who the they is in this situation because I
doubt that's the situation here. We can
I do too, but I'm just saying, like,
we can deal with that conspiracy, but another conspiracy is like, okay, he did it for righteous reasons. Are they going to try to besmirch him now?
Right.
Who are they? Why would they do it? And then could they get away with it? I mean, the latter one, the last question, could they get away with it? Yeah, probably.
Of course.
I say let's talk about that when and if it comes up. I mean, right now, let's talk about how, to me, like the upshot here, and we've already addressed it somewhat, is I think Trae was the first one to bring it up. Almost all of America, at the very least, agrees the guy deserved to die.
Sure. They might not agree that murder's good.
There are people who will be like, you can't do vigilante murder because we live in a society. But very few reasonable people are like, that guy didn't deserve this. Yes,
I don't know anyone
who fucking did.
Yeah, I don't know. And I'm talking about my parents too, who like, they're straight up conservative people. And like, I haven't heard them, you know, besmirch. I haven't even heard them besmirch vigilantism or whatever. But yeah, they're like, that dude's a piece of shit. And I mean, you know, we went through the healthcare system with my grandmother and her, you know, ailing years, and like conservatives as they are, like, yeah, I mean, they're not going to go to bat for big pharma or big healthcare or any of that shit, especially, you know, the CEO, where you said this guy, by the way, of all the healthcares and shit, which they're all pieces of shit and they all deny claims. Cause as Drew said, it's literally like they had their public companies. They have to, and not only do you have to turn a profit, you got to turn a bigger profit the next year or you're fucked. Well, the only way for an insurance company to make money is have everybody, this is scenario one, have everybody in the world pay for your insurance and nothing ever happens to them and they never file a claim. Or, and that's never going to happen, you just deny the shit out of claims because the second you pay one out of pocket, you're losing so much. These motherfuckers had over, like, if the stat I saw was true, that double the denials as the next leading piece of shit, like by a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you guys hear me? Am I still here?
Yeah, you're good.
You can hear me? Okay, cool. Yeah, sorry to everybody in the audience. I've got a new setup. We're having some technical difficulties, but that Mark said, and I was doing the same thing, chose not to be, you were saying it's like all these healthcare companies and stuff. Me and Mark did one of our bonus Skeews things, like, and he went on this little thing about how like it bothers him that they're called healthcare or that people keep calling them healthcare companies. And that
Right.
one in particular, healthcare was in the name because he was like, these are financial institutions. He
Yeah.
was like, they're not the one, you know what I mean? Like all they are is they handle the bills and the money
Right.
for it. They're not
The healthcare is the
providing-
hospital.
Right. They're not providing any healthcare services to anybody, whatever. They're just refusing to pay for those services. They're a purely
escrow.
like financial. They might as well be banks or whatever. They're just
Yeah,
moving
they
money
are.
around, deciding what. And so, you know,
Who gets a loan and who don't.
right. But they obviously contribute to how fucked up the overall healthcare system is in this country. But yeah, no. Apparently, they were like literally the worst by every metric because
Yeah.
among all the shitty options, UHC was the worst, and so. Guy got shot on the street to near universal acclaim.
Yeah.
So,
and dude, I knew obviously that, you know, denying claims was a huge thing, but like, it's just really wild. I'd never seen Francis Ford Coppola's The Rainmaker. And I randomly watched it like 2 days before all this came out. So this was all fresh in my brain. Like, dude, even if I was like some right-wing fuck yeah CEO should be paid 5,000 times as much as the bottom employee, like, after just watching that movie, I couldn't, like, I'd be like, yeah, I mean, again, at the very least, he deserves to fucking die. Like, I'm not saying this guy should have done it, but what are you going to do? I mean, that guy, inarguably, that guy is one life that is now dead. He has caused the deaths of an incalculable amount of people. And what does it matter if you're doing it with a fucking bazooka or you're doing it with a pen?
That's exactly what I was about to say. It's like the people that say, like, you listen, you can't be vigilante murdering because violence I know this guy sucks. Like, violence is still not the answer or whatever. It's like, well, they do violence too. It's just not considered.
It's white collar violence.
When you do it in a boardroom and in a corporate scenario, then it's like, it's policy decisions.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's got a body count like Saddam Hussein, but he didn't actually get his hands dirty. You got to give it up to Saddam on that.
That is violent, you know, so like they are the ones that resort to violence in the first place, but it's considered socially acceptable. I mean, except it isn't. But
bro, they ruin generations of lives, not just like kill. Like they not only do they fucking kill people, then they end up putting them in debt because they got to go out of pocket on shit, ruining fucking everything. They're the fucking worst. But yeah, it's wild, man. Like not many, and right now we're in the it's been less than a week. We're in that sweet spot where there is something for all of us to agree about. But like, I guess to circle back on a point, and I'm sure Drew has some thoughts on this, it eventually will get insanely politicized. I just don't know who and what's the angle. You know what I'm saying? Like, although the submarine shit didn't get politicized, but that was people exploding themselves. That's different. But like, I don't know what the right is gonna say right now.
Have you seen all the like stuff going viral of like Ben Shapiro's comments and Matt Walsh's comments? So all I've seen are screen grabs. It'll show Walsh or Shapiro, and then it'll show the headline of the video or what maybe the person making the meme calls the headline of the video. But apparently they're on there saying like, it's unbelievable how the left is celebrating this murder.
Yeah, right.
And all the comments are like,
with our new ad.
Like so many comments are like, hey, I'm not on the left. I'm one of your fans.
Fuck this guy.
This was great. We need to kill 7 more.
Yeah.
And these people like that, in my opinion, those two specifically, especially Shapiro, they don't actually have any beliefs. They just are addicted to being famous. So they may turn a little in order to not lose. They're hacks. In the comedy world, we'd be like, what a hack. You don't have any actual integrity. Like, but overall, that's good. Like this is...
because they will say whatever they need to say to make sure that they don't lose 200,000 subscribers.
I feel like at the very least, yes, they'll stop with the self-righteousness or whatever. This is just a net good. And I was worried like it would be not just Shapiro trying to try to make me feel bad. I thought some of our fans who are sweet
and
people.
they might
like,
after they see this.
They'd be like, don't celebrate murder. And I was like, nah, man, like everything about this so far is good news other than learning that he has children. Like that's the only thing I could say. Like learning that he does have kids was bad news, but it doesn't change my feelings. He still needed to die.
You can't just have kids and be like, oh, get out of jail free card. I got kids. I can be a piece of shit. And I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, and Trae brought up this really good point earlier in the text thread when we were talking about this vigilante spaghetti feller, and he was like, sounds like a young man who doesn't need to have his future ruined for making one tiny mistake.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Where the fact that's another reason why it's objectively more interesting, and you can debate whether it's better or not or whatever, but the fact that he's apparently from a really rich white coastal family that's privileged and stuff, because it's like normally they get away with everything, right? And everybody knows that. And this case is going to pit elites against elites or whatever. And I think it might end up illustrating that in that context, you know, billionaires are still, you know, like they ain't shit compared to billionaires is what I'm saying. And I bet a lot of those people don't realize that they ain't shit in that comparison. And this case might illustrate that for people, which I find very interesting. You know what I mean? Because it's like, what are they going to do? They got to let an affluent, young, good-looking, rich white kid get away with something, or punish the murder of one of our oligarchs or whatever. And it's like, you know.
Well, he's a class traitor in that regard, and they're not going to allow that. I mean, if you kind of look at this through the lens of like literature, you know, like when you're critiquing literature, the first thing you learn in college about that is like, well, you can look at it through the feminist lens. You can look at it through the Marxist lens. All right, if we look at this through the Marxist lens, and what I mean by that is like just through the class lens, I think people are about to learn real quick that class, what's the word I'm looking for? People use it all the time.
Trumps.
Well, it does trump, but there's how they have each other's back.
Class and what?
Yeah. What do you like?
What you said?
Class brings people together, people coalesce around their class. What do you? Unites.
Loyalty. It's not loyalty, but it's like loyalty. That class loyalty is honestly like, if you start to me, like if I start to break it down, it explains a lot of bullshit in this country. And frankly, I think it's like what happens when Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh go out there and say that, is they see themselves as part of the same class as that guy.
And they're not.
But they need to make sure that their audience doesn't. That's where they're going to start changing. It's like, bro, you need to think real hard about this, because you have pulled the wool over your audience's eyes for a while and made them think that you're in their class. And if you start acting like you got class loyalty with dudes like this, they're going to turn on you. And that's why I think they'll change it up.
Yeah, and there's not many class traders in that particular class. You know what I mean? Like, them motherfuckers stick together. Like, and at the bottom level, we know there's class trader shit that goes on all the time, and that's, you know, that's by design, so that we'll be arguing over all this bullshit while Elon Musk builds another dick rocket or whatever the fuck. But yeah, I'm with you. Sounds good, but you know what? All of this would sound so much better if you were wearing a pair of Raycon earbuds, everybody. I'm telling you, the holidays, they're an amazing time. Like Trae said earlier, when you find out that you don't really know what anybody wants. Like, mamas can be hard to shop for. You know, it's like you've gotten them everything over the years. But here's the thing. Go with something practical, you know, like some Raycons everyday earbuds. They're absolutely fantastic. They make for an amazing holiday gift for anyone on your nice list. They already have tens of thousands of 5-star reviews online, one of them from your boy, and their latest model is better than ever. It's got a 32-hour battery life and multi-point connectivity that lets you pair with 2 devices at once. And also, this is as I'm getting older, might be my favorite thing, active noise cancellations. Like, I have just put these things in and just hit the noise cancellation thing, just so like the noise around me isn't as hustly and bustly, which we know it's definitely about to be here in the holiday season. Gotta have it. It's amazing. Trae, tell them more about our friends at Raycon.
Yeah, we got some of these sent to us, and it hit for me immediately. They became my dailies. I'm a big earbud wearer, like you know me. Whenever I'm cooking dinner, I'm in the kitchen, and my wife and kids, I need to tune them out. Obviously, that's the whole point of this process, is I need to ignore them for a minute to find some sanity, obviously. And you can't do that without some good earbuds, and Raycon's everyday earbuds scratch that exactly the way I like it. I got I'm a basic type feller, so I got the black color option, you know, just
I
on
got
a
purple.
straight right, exactly. And that makes sense. That's what another thing hits about Raycon. They got you covered whether you basic or insane, you know, whether you're me or Cho. Either way, they got you. But yeah, they hit very hard for me. They're very easy to operate. They've got a bunch of different tap combinations. You tap this one, you know, hit the next track, tap this one to turn the volume up, tap this twice to pause it. You can do anything you need. Anything you want is at your fingertips with Raycon. But they are the perfect, amazing, easy to gift holiday present for that person in your life. It's hard to pick something out for. I think I might get 2 pairs for each of my tween sons.
You may as
this
well.
holiday season too. Yeah, because then we can all just tune each other out. You know what I'm saying? But listen, here's the deal. If your recipient is for some reason not as impressed as we have all been, Raycon offers a 30-day happiness guarantee and easy returns. So save big for the holidays and get up to 25% off site-wide at buyraycon.com/WellRED. That's right. You'll get up to 25% off everything on Raycon's website when you go to buyraycon.com/WellRED. That's buy RAYCON.com/WellRED. Make a hit.
Make it hit. This is one of my favorite tweets of the whole situation, and it actually falls in line with what you were just saying. This is from Lauren Levine. We are finally on the verge of learning once and for all if Italians are white.
Yeah, I like that one.
It's truly hilarious.
Solidarity was the goddamn one. I can't believe I forgot the phrase class.
That shit happens to me
solidarity
all the fucking time, man. When I've never felt dumber.
It's probably like the 3rd or 4th most important tenet of Marx's whole economic writings. And even like whether you're a lefty or not, if you are learned and you want to talk about this stuff and you forget one like that, you look like an idiot. So I'm a big old dum-dum. But class solidarity does seem to be easier for the richies to keep together. And yeah, you're about to see it. They're about to come down on him hard. And I think that's what's going on with all the media. They consider themselves to be a part of that class, and a dude attacked them. I mean, dude, I think people on CNN and Fox feel scared by a guy like that. And I think your in-laws don't.
Right,
and that's what's going on here. And that's why I said that about I'm glad he's in the manosphere, because I'm hoping it gives us all kind of a very blunt lesson of like, yeah, that dude's not your enemy. It is the CEO and the gay guy on CNN who wants you to feel bad about being happy because he's rich and scared. Now, fuck that.
Right.
Yeah. Did you guys see? I saw it got passed around a lot. He's a well-read guy, likes to read a lot, and he reviews the things he reads. You guys see the review he did of the Unibomber's manifesto? It was a very long. Very long.
I did see that. Motherfucker spitting.
He was spitting the whole time. He was like, I mean, you know what? Let me try to find it real quick.
Yeah, but just fucking read it.
While you're looking for it, I'll give our little caveat, our little disclaimer. The Unibomber, and this is a pretty widely accepted viewpoint, I think. I don't think it's that radical. The Unibomber was right about everything he said, but then for whatever reason, he just decided to kill the wrong people.
Right. Yeah.
Like, if the Unibomber had focused on CEOs, dude, I would be a very pro-Unibomber person.
We all would be. Dude, yeah. I mean, dude, everything that Ted Kaczynski wrote and shit.
It's everything. I think he might have had a few.
Like racy type thing. Like
redact,
a little bit of race war stuff in there or something. Right. I'm not sure. But
man, they always got to fucking ruin it right at the end.
But that's what old Luigi had to say about it, too. He said that among many other, I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's long. He posted a lengthy review of it, but he says he was talking about Ted Kaczynski. He was a violent individual, fully imprisoned, who maimed innocent people. While these actions tend to be characterized as those of a crazy Luddite, however, they are more accurately seen as those of an extreme political revolutionary. Says when all other forms of communication fail, violence is necessary to survive. You might not like his methods, but to see things from his perspective, it's not terrorism, it's revolution. Fossil fuel companies actively suppress anything that stands in their way, and within a generation or two, it will begin costing human lives in greater and greater magnitudes until the earth is just a flaming ball orbiting third from the sun. Peaceful protests are outright ignored. Economic protest isn't possible in the current system. So how long until we recognize that violence against those who lead us into such destruction is justified as self-defense? And then at the bottom, this part, he says, we are animals just like everything else on this planet, except we've forgotten the law of the jungle and we bend over for our overlords, where any other animal would recognize the threat and fight to the death for their own survival. Violence never solved anything is a statement for cowards and predators, right? And that, right? I mean, here's the thing, and I know it's going to hit y'all the same way it hit me. I found out on Reddit earlier today that last paragraph I just read, he lifted from a Reddit comment of some other dude. And that's, to me, that's the most disappointing thing of this whole affair for me personally.
At least they don't grammarly and like,
the plagiarization, it's bit stealing or whatever. It's like, at least give credit, buddy. Come on now. But either way,
imagine being tagged in a manifesto like that.
But he plagiarized on a Goodreads review of Ted Kaczynski's manifesto. I feel like that's not
there's layers.
Like,
maybe right.
He didn't know he was going to murder a CEO and become super famous.
He's not like
he wasn't posting it for clout.
Exactly. He wasn't getting any kind of real reward from it outside of just.
He just was like, this phrase hits, and also I'm sure the person that said that on Reddit, they might have copy pasted it from somebody else.
Very possible.
The person who said that on Reddit is probably talking to the FBI right now.
Yeah, no shit. But dude,
about that, we don't know. It was a customer, right? Not an employee.
I thought it was an employee at McDonald's.
Supposedly an employee. I know because Burger King is really trying to make hay.
Burger King tweeted, "We don't snitch."
Again, I'm getting like all this from either way. Just whoever that person, it's like
they're gonna need to be in protective custody.
Doing? Like, how did you miss that particular memo?
And it's only how much was the reward for him?
$1,000, I think. I don't even think it was 50. It might have been 10 or 50.
But that's how they're always going to get us to be traitors against the class. If you work at McDonald's, 10 grand's a lot of money.
That's true.
I mean, it won't change your life, but you probably think it will, and it will change your year a lot.
But
you know what? I bet they got fucking medical bills. I bet that's why they did it. Ain't that a bitch?
Yeah, sure. But like, you got to weigh your options here. Is $10,000 worth being the most universally hated motherfucker on the planet right now? Of course, you don't think about that when you're in a horrible situation.
I'm almost certain it was anonymous, which now I'm realizing that means we have no way of knowing who did it.
Right. Everybody, I guess no one knows either way, but I've seen people saying like that there was an assumption it was a McDonald's employee, but that it wasn't. It was some mama or papa that was also eating inside at McDonald's. Who called it
wouldn't have happened at Hardee's. I fucking tell you that right now.
Hell no.
No Papa at Hardee's. First of all, Papa's and Hardee's, they can't see good. And if they'd have seen Luigi over there, they would have been like, hey, let me buy you a burger.
Right. Unless they didn't know who he was. Unless they truly didn't know who he was at all, in which case they might have thought he was just a terrorist, because I saw another thing that was like the person recognized him from his eyebrows. From a, grainy picture that was taken outside of a Starbucks or whatever. So
wasn't he also wearing, if not the same mask thing, a very similar thing that he had on in the picture? Well, that's a way more
a lot of people think
pertinent detail than the eyebrows to me. Like the eyebrows plus the whole rest of that get up, I can see being a dead giveaway for somebody, but yeah, I agree with you, Drew. It feels to me like that he wanted to. I think maybe he's got, maybe he's still got other shit planned. I don't mean any kind of crazy Joker shit. I just mean like, points he wants to make, things he wants to get across or whatever. Like maybe he's looking forward to. Drew, you're a lawyer. Jury nullification. What's up with that?
I will tell you about that after I make this quick point. I don't think there's anything to this. I think it was fake. But supposedly a YouTube channel popped up. And some people think it's fake because it had the same picture that's on his Twitter, so anybody could have ripped it off. They had a video that says that the video's been taken down, the whole channel's been taken down, but that something big is going to happen or be revealed tomorrow.
As in?
From him or his people?
It was made to appear to be his YouTube channel.
Okay.
Whether it was or not. But if all he had done was schedule a video to be released on that YouTube channel tomorrow, it's not going to come out because the FBI's already shut it down.
Right, yeah.
That don't hit.
Jury nullification is a thing. The issue with jury nullification is getting a judge.
time to kill situation, right? A time to kill with Samuel L. Jackson, Matthew McConaughey. Like you've called it before, the needed killing defense or whatever,
Right.
where it's basically
that was
just
a
like
different defense that you could use back in the day that would get you less time.
The Texas
Right.
defense, right?
But in a time to kill, the jury's basically just like, yeah, he definitely did that shit. We all acknowledge that he did that shit, but it's okay because it needed to be done. So we're just going to say it's fine. The jury has a right
to do not guilty,
even though they know that he did
because they want to.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So there's no like that. And maybe in some states there is, but in every state there's not like an official doctrine that says jury nullification and then this is what it is. Because when you think about something like that, you got to let the jury know, right? The process by which you let a jury know something like that typically is jury instructions. Well, the judge can't tell a jury they're not allowed to do that because they are. But judges are very clever. Most judges don't want that to happen. You know what I mean? That turns their courtroom into whatever. So the key with it is getting a judge to tell the jury it's allowed and or you do it without saying something that's objectionable. And by objectionable, I mean literally objectionable by the letter of the law, not like we have a problem.
Someone can object.
Right.
Yes. So, I mean, if someone can object, but, will it matter? So the key there is in your opening and closing statements, letting these people on the jury know, hey, you don't have to find him guilty. The state has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this man did this. That's what they have to do in order for you to find him guilty. In order to find him not guilty, you have to just have reasonable doubt or just not want to.
Right.
That's a fact.
Right.
But getting away with that, like, if I'm the prosecutor, objection, Your Honor, blah, blah, sidebar, like whatever, but it is fucking true. So it's definitely a thing. You have to be artful, and I haven't looked into it in a long time. There is definitely a way to do it, and how you introduce the concept to the jury, and then, you just go with it.
It's going to be a whole thing, man. I mean,
this trial's
it's going to be a banger.
Wild. Yeah.
And
it's going to be like O.J. Simpson level, right?
Yeah,
It'll be that type of,
I mean, obviously different because in that situation.
I just mean media circus-wide, coverage, scrutiny.
Yes, bro. Especially because it's all happening right here at the, when the new president's about to take over and shit like that. And also, like, the thing that we didn't have during the OJ trial was like immediacy. Like they had obviously the court TV or whatever, and then NBC could put together a package, but like every single angle, like, dude, the fucking streamers are already fighting for the story to do the 5-parter like they do the Menendez shit right now. Like, you're going to be seeing it from every angle. It's going to be all encompassing. And I mean, it's just going to be fucking insane, except for like the difference in this one versus the OJ is like the OJ trial was like, as far as the people go, split down the middle, like didn't do it, did do it, or like even if you did, I don't give a fuck. This one, until
we all know he did it, and 80 to 90% of us are like,
don't care.
That's fine. Yeah,
that's fine. In
the video I made, I said, "Can we please come on,
come on."
I saw this tweet from Jay Jordan. I got to tell you guys about because we were talking about McDonald's.
I love Jay.
This is so funny. Popeyes employees would have helped him get rid of and hide the gun.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, they would have. Hell yeah, dude. He'd be back cooking fries at the fucking Waffle House, telling them how he did it and shit, and they'd have just locked the doors.
I think he wanted to get caught. Now, I don't know why. I don't know if whatever plan he had, because I think it's easier to kill someone in Manhattan and get out of the city than it is to like control the narrative. And if he did want to get caught, that's his goal, is to control the narrative and like get his voice out there. I don't know if he'll be able to do that.
I also think it's at least possible that, because people have said that the conspiracy theories are like, this just doesn't make sense. The whole like, look at the way he acted the day of the killing and how, how well executed it all seems to have been, and he got away with it or whatever, versus everything we're hearing about this. He's just got every piece of incriminating evidence there is on his person when they find he's dressed as, it just doesn't make sense. But I think you could I think it's at least possible, pure speculation from my butt, but that he killed the guy, has since seen that he's a fucking folk hero
right
now.
Yeah.
Like he's seen the
Not like he
reaction
threw his
to
phone
it,
away.
and that made him decide,
Good.
fuck it, I'm gonna
This
step
is my
out
moment.
into I'm gonna step
Yeah.
out into the sunlight and fucking see
That's
this thing
such
through
a
and
good
see what
point.
happens. You know, I'm not saying that's what happened, but I think it's at least possible that that's how it
Yeah,
went
dude.
down, and that would make the whole
Trying to
thing
get a
make
white
sense.
girl to go bug mode, dog.
Bro,
That okay? Hey, on
Yeah,
that, by the way,
yeah.
on that, by the way, also lighter subject related to all this, but dude, you know how like women be writing "fuck me" letters to murders in
my
prisons?
God,
This
dude.
dude's immediately the
Bruh.
Wilt Chamberlain of that, right? Like already in less than
Bruh.
24 hours, he's the Jordan of getting letters from horny bitches on the inside.
Somebody
tweeted.
Somebody tweeted, they were like, if you were in line for the Luigi Digliamano conjugal visit, stay in line. Like that fucking
Tim Dillon tweeted, I would have paid this dude's rent for a year if he didn't do anything I liked.
Yeah. Yeah, because dude, he's not only a pretty feller, he's shredded, got a six pack, all that shit,
Yeah,
beautiful
Teach
smile.
Teach sent me the shirtless pic and
Oh,
said,
you know he did.
look at his abs. I count 1, 2, 3, 6 counts of not guilty.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna
dude,
be.
it's a hot, rich, smart white guy. We're in the simulation, dude. I don't know. We got black Nazis in North Carolina. We got hot, rich, smart Ivy League class traders in Pennsylvania, New York City. This is the fun part of the dying empire, boys. Let's enjoy it.
It's also like, I mean, related off of what you were just saying, if he was a more typical type of manifesto writer, you know, like a Unibomber looking type dude or whatever, it would be very easy to paint him as just being a lunatic. He's just some fucking unhinged lunatic or whatever. But this dude looks very outwardly like someone who's got his shit very much together and made the choice to do it. And that also is just has a huge impact on the narrative and the whole thing, I feel like.
I wanted to add earlier, and I just remembered it, the tech bro thing. He was very into AI, and if you go look at his tweets, he's young, like some of his old tweets are very much like, this technology is going to change the world. It's going to make everything better for us. It's going to make everything easy for us. I just want to say that it's possible that this dude thought tech was going to save us.
Right.
And then is so offended by how much evil it's being used for. Like he was a naive, sweet summer child. And when he realized that flipped him. So I'm just saying, I'm not ready to throw all the wannabe tech bros under the bus because, you know, everyone can get jaded. Everyone can be young and think.
We all liked Elon Musk at one point.
I was about to say, not even just Elon. Tech bros weren't really a thing when I was in my late teens, early 20s. Because we hadn't got there yet, but I know that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But I've always been real into that, just because I'm a nerd who likes sci-fi and stuff. Yeah. But when all that shit first started happening, I thought it was all the coolest stuff in the world, and I thought it was going to improve everybody's lives.
It could
and maybe save humanity too. But I've long since along the way realized that that's not how any of it actually works. Because
people still have to input the data,
right?
You know,
and I still think it's a huge bummer that it's going that way. I'm no longer surprised by it or nothing, but I mean, so I can definitely relate to that. I'm saying when I was that age, I would have been in a similar place probably.
Absolutely, and I think that what I hope, I mean, I've hoped this for a while, but what I hope people see, like him, like. It's capitalism, and I know when I say that I just sound like some leftist weirdo or whatever, but what I mean when I say that is if every single entity, decision you make, industry is only guided by the principle, how do we make more money and nothing else, well, then you end up with AI denying people's claims while your grandma rots in a bed with bed sores on her ass.
Right.
And so it's like you don't have to go full Marx to see that that's a problem. And it's like Marx said, healthcare. They don't do either of those words.
Right.
They're a financial institution. Everything is now. That's what's insane about this whole world we're living in is now everything is either get famous or it's a financial institution. Every single thing. Dude, Hawk to a girl, she about to go to jail. And there's no way she knows what she did.
She has no idea.
No way she is aware of the scam that just got pulled off.
Some other type of tech bro just leached onto her and was like, we're going to introduce this coin and use your name. And she was like, she just saw the numbers and was like, okay.
But what she did was she defrauded a bunch of people without meaning to. Like, it's fraud. Because I've been so wrapped up in the other story we've been talking about. I'm aware that happened, but I don't know the details of all that.
She's benefiting from this shooter right now.
A pyramid scheme in a world where it's legal to do pyramid schemes. If you just don't do them in a day, do them in a year. But they did it in a day, dog. But the through line, the thing I'm bringing up is she's an entertainer. She shouldn't be involved in this like pull for profit.
Right.
Healthcare's healthcare. They shouldn't be involved, but that's where we're at. Everything is only about that profit. And I think people feel it. And this dude clearly did and shot a guy. And again, I'm so happy about it.
No, me too.
I wish that dude would come back to life and they'd shoot him again.
Would hit. And no, listen, I'm with you, man, because like, you know, I hear it from super capitalist people all the time. Is like, well, how do you think businesses are supposed to work? So businesses just shouldn't make money? I'm like, no, businesses should. I'm telling you things that shouldn't be businesses is what I'm saying, you know.
Yeah, but even still, there's like, as using an example on the other end of things, like, you know,
Costco.
the CEO of Costco, I was going to say Arizona Teas, but Costco too. But like that guy has said, like, he could have made way more money if he would have just done what every single other beverage company ever has done and increased the prices gradually. But he was like, but I already am a fucking multimillionaire, and that is just fine for me. I think tea should be 99 cents.
God damn it.
Like, you don't have to. You don't have to compromise that. You can make the decision to still be super rich and not fuck people over. Like, the Costco guy, they brought in a new dude because he was wanting to semi-retire or whatever. And that guy pitched the idea of like raising the cost of the hot dogs or whatever. And the Costco dude like grabbed him by the shoulder and was like, I will fucking kill you. Like, no, listen to me. Listen to me. If you raise the price of the hot dog, I will kill you. I'm not kidding.
And everybody loves
which
that
is hilarious.
Because
and again,
are allowed to kill people.
And again, I'm not saying that every single fucking business has to be should be beheaded. That would work.
Yeah, you
but
nailed it.
What I'm saying is, like, if you're a fucking if you make jeans, you know what I mean? And I mean, we're gonna take out the sweat labor camps or whatever, like, but if your whole goal when you're making
$400,
but what I'm saying is, if your whole goal when you're making jeans is like, I want to make jeans to make a lot of money, that's fucking fine. Healthcare shouldn't be in that. You shouldn't have that same mindset.
Undeniably true. Healthcare, prisons, any of that.
Because people can just get different genes, you know.
Yes, I was about to say education. Yes, it's none of that. You're right.
Did you say Arizona and Costco because you saw that one that guy did? It went pretty viral of like the video was
I just know from being on Reddit that those are the two that always get jerked off by everybody, but I didn't. So there's it was a very basic video, but it was well done. It was like CEOs right now, and he was like, oh fuck, what do? We got to hire security. And then it was like cuts, and it's like the Arizona Tea CEO. No, I'm not worried at all, dog. I'm pretty good over here. What about you? Of course. Costco guy. Yeah, dude. I got nothing to worry about.
No, but dude, like, I mean, bad example I get, but like, if Jeff Bezos only made half of what he makes, a 10% away, like, he'd be fine. Like, there's no, you don't have to, but again, like, Amazon's a different situation. But like, again, like Drew said, if you want to make bespoke jeans and sell them for $500, great. If someone wants to pay $500 for jeans, fucking have at it. But like, my Meemaw ain't got a lot of options. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like you said, like what they were doing with those fucking nursing homes, like monopolizing the whole goddamn system. Like, there's certain things
should be killed.
And there's just certain things that shouldn't be for profit. And that's why I don't understand when people are like, as soon as you mention some Bernie shit, they're like communism. It's like, dog, we're just saying these things don't need to be fucking free market ran by these and public companies that need shareholders that need, like, not everything need to be like that. But dude, your smoothie business, fucking go wild.
And can I just say, since you brought his name up, it's like Candyman. Now I'm here in the mirror. The Democratic Party, if you look at how everyone universally is like, fuck that guy, I'm glad he killed him. And not only did they rat fuck and torpedo Bernie Sanders, but then they refused to steal any of his ideas. I thought they were at least going to do that.
Right.
I thought they were at least going to be like, yeah, fuck him, but we can run on that, right? And they didn't, and then they lost. I'm not saying it was a guaranteed win, and I'm not saying Bernie Sanders was the perfect vessel to deliver that message, but I am saying that is clearly something that all of America feels, and it was right there.
Well, brother, I mean, I don't know how this is now, because, 8 years is a long time. Now, granted, Bernie ain't changed a fucking word he said.
Still eating soup, dog.
Yeah, I mean, dude, because, like, if you just, if you just tell the truth, you ain't got to worry about what you said. That's kind of how it is. But, like, in 2016, and, it's not just, we were told this by our friend Sarah Smarsh. We were told this by fucking polls. It's just the fact is that a lot of people, when they kicked Bernie out, they didn't go to Hillary. They went to Trump. You know what I mean? It's like those people were there, bro. And it's listen, man, I know we don't need another old white guy. I understand that, but maybe when you're trying
we did. We need to win.
That's what I'm saying is like, dude, how about this? Whenever you're trying to, your words, not mine, I feel it too, save democracy from fascists, maybe don't try to break the world record at the same goddamn time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Maybe go with what fucking works and then do all that shit later.
Can I read something from our friend Sarah Smarsh that you just reminded me of?
Absolutely.
That really hit for me. It's not that long. If you're among the untold millions who, unlike CNN analysts, are not remotely confused by his motivations, who know the violence visited upon the American people by private health insurance companies every day, who, like me, have known people who were denied care, suffered and died while quote-unquote insured, whose very good and nonviolent heart is so utterly ravaged by this oligarchy that you find yourself rooting for this young man, you are not a monster.
Yeah.
Those who sit in boardrooms calculating how to increase already absurd profits by denying health care claims, which is a thoroughly documented reality, they are the monsters. Their violence is never justified. They are a danger to society. They are criminals in the court of the human soul. Unless you misunderstand or mistake, vengeance, always foolish, never productive, cyclical in its horror, has little to do with this swell of feeling among the masses. I suspect it was low, if even present, on his list of reasons. The release of fury you are witnessing is peaceful people saying, after generations of victimization, take the corporate boot off my child's neck, my mother's neck, and my own neck in our literal fight to survive. It's not pretty, but it's the truth.
Amen, brother.
So we let her close this episode out. We can't follow that. Can't never follow Sarah. The always brilliant Sarah. But yeah, oh hey, it's here. The week is upon us, fellas. This very weekend, the three of us will be together again for the holidays. And at Zanies in Nashville, our favorite club in the country, as we are every year. If you've been before, you know it always hits, so it's going to hit again. It's December 12th through the 14th. 5 shows. Tickets are moving as always. You can still get some out there, I believe. And so come and see us make it hit. Also, and then I've got another show in Chicago at the end of December 21st. And then I'm going all over the place in 2025. You can go to TraeCrowder.com and find links to all those shows, including Zanies this weekend. So yeah, check it out.
His manifesto's out. Ken Klippenstein, did I say his name right? Who I love, one of my favorite journalists, has gotten it, and he's putting it out. I'm about to read it. I will be in Asheville, North Carolina on December the 20th. That's a Friday at Catawba Brewery. I've got the tickets up on my website. That's a rescheduled show. If you had tickets to the other one, come, we'll let you in. Trying to raise some money that night, donating as much as I can afford to with this baby to the people, the victims, all that. I'll be in Marietta, Georgia on January 25th, but let's all hang out this weekend in Nashville.
Absolutely. I am going to be at the Comedy Catch in Chattanooga December 20th through the 1st, also doing their Home for the Holiday stuff. Grab them tickets at thecomedycatch.com. But, as I said, boys, this is my favorite weekend of the year. I'm super stoked. Y'all come on out, and like we always say, this is the only time we're together all year. So even if you're not from Nashville, if you're just around, hell, I know for a fact, because people have been tweeting at me, they're like, just got my flights booked. Come see us at Nashville this weekend. Zanies, TraeCrowder.com for those tickets. And also, and listen to our other podcasts. We got Gravy Baby, we got Weekly Skeews, and we've got Puttin On Airs, which this week we're going to have a great episode. I'll go ahead and promote it. Twitter's main character for like the past 3 months Derek Guy at Dye Workwear. We're going to have him as a guest on Putting On Airs. It's going to be great. Thank you all for listening to the WellRED Show. We'd love to stick around longer, but we got to go. Tune in next week if you got nothing to do. Thank you. God bless you. Good night and skew. I'm coming, Bang.
Yo,
Skew.
it's too